pardon me while
You literally just said, start the show.
I mean, because if we wait for me to get ready, I think it needs to be like here.
It's center.
Oh, you're moving for a camera. I was doing it for sound.
I'm centering it.
I'm trying to make it so that we're both talking toward it.
Toward it.
Like that. I don't care how it looks. I care how it sounds. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's the Krisha and Frank show.
Cup City over here.
And we are on Audible? No, we're not. We're on...
We're going to be on Audible.
That's the one thing I was supposed to not say,
yeah.
And I have it backwards.
It's fine. We're going to be on Audible. So if you would like to be on Audible, right now you can get a free trial. audibletrial.com/... Wait, yeah, it's Krisha and Frank. Yeah.
It's all Krisha and Frank. That's how we signed up for things. It's audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank. Get your free 30-day trial. Get a free audiobook that you can keep. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Krisha and Frank. On all of the things, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which are not all the things, but they're the three main ones.
We have the absolute complete opposite body and physicality and mentality right now. The absolute, we could not be any further apart from how you're feeling and how I'm feeling right now.
I thought it was going to be cold.
It's not.
And it's humid. And
it's sticky.
It's sticky, and we came out here because of the fall foliage.
Look at it, how pretty.
And
you're sweating?
I was pouring with sweat. Because it's going to be a busy day for the old Krisha and Frank show.
Yeah.
And
every day's busy. This is coffee, by the way.
I have a mug. I have
fine.
a branded coffee mug that, well, I'll save it for another show.
I'm just going to double hand it.
Because now also I'm supposed to work in the Bone Zones tumblers, and this isn't even a Bone Zones episode.
Ew, gross.
Here, I'm going to need, here.
You tossed your sweat at me. What's up?
Sorry. I didn't think you were going to, well, I don't know.
I flicked it. Hi.
So.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I am wrapped. I am wrapped tight.
You, just...
Do you remember when we did a show at the old North Knoxville off of Happy Holler, whatever that place was called, Modern Studio?
Yeah.
There was a place called Modern Studio. And we were doing
the K-Pax show.
A two-person show. And we were coming on after Ophelia was going to douse herself in bath water.
Yes,
and
it was something.
There was all of this nonsense. And we've talked about this in the past, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you now. So we're out there, and I'm getting like this. I'm getting wrapped up tight because all the people who were on before us, the other comedy groups, not the serious actors, but the other comedy groups and comedians and improvisers, Billy Kyle and all these people, they're just off stage. They want to chat with Krisha and Frank.
Billy Kyle.
Hey, right?
Yeah, just Billy Kyle. That's the only one that we can mention.
He's the only one I can remember, and he's the only one who talked to us a lot. All right?
Billy Kyle's a great guy. Hi, Billy Kyle.
So he was talking to us quite a bit because he had just come off stage, was on that high, and wanted to chat with us. And we know that we're going on. We don't know how long we're going to be. It's going to be because we have no idea how long Ophelia is going to take.
Because she was doing her thing, and it was
involved.
It was
Their setup had run long. Their cleanup was going to be. She's going to literally get in a bucket or a dishpan and pour water over her head as the finale of her act, and then we're supposed to come on after that.
Right. And I'm like, it'll be fine.
So I'm like this, okay? But as soon as we stepped out on stage, all of a sudden I just was like, and that is why, Krisha, dear, that is why I said moments ago, just start the show.
Just start the show.
Because I even had at the time, I remember I had to wear a tracker for work, a Fitbit.
Right, you didn't have to, but it was an incentive, so you got cheaper insurance, which is some BS.
I'll mention that it was the EW Scripps Company.
Yeah. They gave you discounts on your insurance if you wore the step tracker that they gave you.
So it kept track of my heartbeat,
and
I could look in the app, and you could see that my heart rate went from 120, and then the moment we went on stage, it went down to 58.
Oh, I'm not even getting mine right now. Yeah, 58.
Which was my normal, or
nearly dead.
Well, maybe it was 62, but it was somewhere in that range of my normal heart rate is around 60.
Okay, mine is like 75.
Okay,
but women are a little.
Well, you're like a bird, you know.
I'm a hummingbird. There's a Weepy song that describes me. It's always been like a hummingbird And I can't sit still. Listen up, lover, listen up, I never will. Heart beats faster than the human eye. If you could see my heart, if you could see my heart. Yeah,
Oh.
so, hummingbird.
And also, I am very self-conscious because my wife thinks I'm going eyebrow bald.
Have you been trimming them?
Well, that's what she says. That's not what I meant by that. But my wife says,
What is this, 2010?
My wife says, have you been plucking your eyebrows? I'm like, no. I've not been plucking my
Do you
eyebrows.
trim them, though?
Well, but only where they get,
Right.
I
They
think,
get-
too wild.
Yeah.
And I trim them. And when I use the beard trimmer, I have a guard to prevent them from getting too... And they feel normal to me.
Yeah, they look normal.
So maybe I'm not going eyebrow bald, because she says this one is disappearing.
Well, I've got, like, huge widow's peaks that I'm super self-conscious of.
Okay.
But I've had them my whole life, because when I danced and I used to pull my hair back tight, the hair just stopped growing.
Yeah, for the bun head.
But yeah, I've got, like...
Okay.
Yeah.
But you would tell me, right? Because her next thing...
No. Yes, I would tell you.
Her next thing is, if I'm not going eyebrow bald, maybe I'm going eyebrow gray or eyebrow white.
No.
Is it bald? So I think, see, I feel...
Like, they're thinning out a little.
But to
But
me,
it
it
looks
feels
like
the
you
same.
trimmed.
Well, I trimmed the wild ones and the ones that go sticking out
Right.
like, like a madman.
Yeah.
You know, the spiky ones. But I've been very careful not to mess with
Right.
the area where she's accusing me. And...
Maybe you inadvertently got a little glad-handed. That happens to me on mine.
Because she thinks I need to start dyeing, or I don't know, or putting a little hair dye or something on the part that might be invisible.
Why don't we just get you, like what the ladies use? Like I use like an eyebrow filler.
Do you have that?
Not with me.
Okay, could you bring
And
it?
it's brown, so you have to get your color.
What color am I?
Salt and pepper.
Oh, do they have that?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Why would they have that? What's the point? I'm already that.
Right, but like I use the same color of my brows to fill in my brows.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, I'll see if Jerry has something, because everyone says she looks like my sister anyway. So.
Update: my heart rate is 92 right now.
So am I getting you over?
Oh, you have stressed me the hell out.
Because I'm starting to feel calm now.
Yeah.
I have projected
You have projected your
my anxiety and my
Well,
stress onto you.
I came into this morning very tired, and in that place where I don't know if you suffered from the exhaustion of working a whole lot during a pandemic, during an election season with children, but I woke up this morning not awake and or ready to do anything, so I've been in that force myself to keep going thing where you just don't have the choice to stop. And so I came into this morning very exhausted, so it may be good that you gave me a little anxiety, because it'll just
Okay.
yeah. My friend Jennifer and I were actually having the conversation about right now letting the kids off of like dish duty and off of some of the chores duty, and kind of let them do their thing, because realizing that there is a lifetime for the rest of your life, life is gonna suck a little. You got to do dishes and you've got to maintain. And right now,
you got to take out the garbage. Don't forget to take out the garbage.
And right now, as teenagers and preteens, like, just go play. Go do your thing. Like, you can be off of dish duty, like relaxing the chores a little bit, just to let the kids live. Because once they hit adulthood, it never ends.
Well, it was so different in the pre-device era.
Yeah.
Did you grow up? You grew up pre-video games and pre-devices.
I was born in 1980, so I got the privilege of half of my life with no computers, and them coming of age and learning technology as a... Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You want me to put in a different... I don't need to put in a different sound effect. That was perfect. Truck backfiring in the next neighborhood. That's the house the Californians almost bought.
Wow.
The garbage moved out of.
But no, I
mean the handheld devices, because it got to a point where it was some point, maybe it was kids in the 90s
like,
more, had the Game Boys.
Game Boy. That was like, that came about. So my brother had a Game Boy. He was born in 82, and it was like Game Boy we would fight over in the car.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because I guess what I'm saying, though, is there was a point where, prior to that, if you grew up in the 70s, you had nothing to do all day, so you would go out and be a kid, and your parents didn't care, generally speaking. They would say, come back when I ring the dinner bell, or come back when the streetlights come on, or come back when it's too dark to see your hand. Yeah. Whatever it was, whatever your family code was. And you would just go out and be a kid, and then you'd come home, and then you'd have your chores, and it would seem normal.
Right.
Your time hadn't gotten all eaten up with other things.
And now, like, life is just different. I don't think that there even is... What sucks is time for that. I don't know.
That's what I mean, is how is there less time now than there was then, other than that we want to spend more time on our devices and our things?
I don't, it's like my kids, they're busy. Hannah, 5 days a week, has band rehearsal.
What?
The squeaking.
Oh, the birds, they have or it might be a squirrel. They have a definite metronome-like quality.
It's coming from over there.
You're hearing the echo against the chimney. The animals are in the wood. Now, see, all right, we're going to do a commercial in a moment. Can we do the commercial now?
Yeah.
Because it ties in with the noise.
I just want to say, I feel like the aunt whoever in Christmas Vacation, she's like, what's that squeaking noise?
You mean Imogene Coca?
No. What's her name? You know what I'm talking? Aunt Bethany.
Oh, Aunt Bethany.
I pledge allegiance.
Oh, she was
Christ, she died 30 years ago.
Was she the old Betty Boop?
Yeah, I think
Imogene Coca was not in Christmas Vacation. She was in Vacation.
Vacation.
She died, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to her momentarily. Yeah. But right now, the animals behind us have to readapt.
Right, because Steve's tree service came in and cut down your dead trees.
And look at the view. Look at the fall foliage.
Here, let me move my head.
Thanks, Steve. You can move it the other way, too,
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I can't really. Okay, there. I'll get my coffee going here. Go ahead.
So, Steve's Tree Service, I hired them. They listened to the show. Actually, they watched the show on YouTube and knew that I had a hot mess of trees back there.
Because they could see it.
They could see it. And so I said, well, come in and give me an estimate. They gave me a fair price. I had gotten, already at that point, 2 estimates. They were my 3rd estimate. And I can tell you that their prices were fair, but still a little under.
Right.
So I knew I wasn't getting ripped off, and I knew I was getting a good price because I'd already asked around. And they took out 5 pine trees that were dangerous. And one of the things they do is, there's no way they could have put a bucket truck back in here. Yeah. Some of the companies, they're like, well, if I can't get a bucket truck in, it's going to cost you more.
Right.
Well, Steve hires a climber.
And they're so cool to watch.
Yeah, they use these guys, and it's funny because the climber is a shorter man.
Oh yeah.
He's like a jockey almost, but he's fit.
Yeah.
And he was complaining that the taller guy was reaching up and pulling down vines. He's and the climber's like, well, I can't reach that. He's making fun of me because I'm short. I'm like, no, he can't climb because he would kill himself.
Right.
Because this guy, he climbs to the top of the tree and he's out there walking, like surfing on the
so cool.
limbs of the pine tree to tie him. And then they come back and I was worried that these trees, these huge pine limbs, were going to damage my very expensive pool cover, which I can't afford to replace.
Right. They did not.
No. They didn't even touch it.
Yeah.
They had it all figured out scientifically with these ropes and pulleys, and they...
Yeah, that's geometry, kid.
Yeah. And they did a fine job. They cleaned up well. So I want you to call...
They're known for their cleanup.
They live in South Knoxville, but it doesn't matter. They'll service anywhere in Knox, Anderson, Blount, Sevier, Loudon, the whole East Tennessee region. You call them at 865-257-6214. Or the easiest thing, what I actually did, was their Facebook page.
Steve's Tree Service.
And there's one in like Indiana or Ohio or someplace. Don't click that one.
That's not the right one.
Choose the one in Knoxville and have them do a fine job, as good a job for you as they did for me.
Yeah, and let them know that we sent you there, Krisha and Frank. That's
Renee is the brains of the operation. No offense, Steve. So you'll deal with her.
I think he would agree with that. I think he would.
I think he's the one who told me that.
There you go.
So that's why the animals are acting weird, because some of their normal, like there's this one chipmunk who just keeps running back and forth and back and forth, doesn't know where to go.
And what do I do?
He's going to get eaten by the hawk if he's not careful.
What? Yeah, probably. What were you saying?
Imogene Coca.
Imogene Coca, yeah. So I did a funny little, I did a wig swap last night in our finale song is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
So let's explain. This is the regular Follies show at Sweet Fanny Adams.
Right. Yeah.
That ends Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
So that's soon.
Well,
and then,
actually, it ends the 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Because on Thanksgiving night, you start the Christmas show.
Yes.
So you're working hard. That's what you mean by you're working double, because you have to do the show 5 nights a week. And then how many nights do you rehearse?
5 nights a week.
So every single...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like doing 2 shows a night.
Yeah, so we're rehearsing, and it's sometimes rehearsal is more grueling than the show that you're doing, because you're having to learn things and sing new songs.
And there's a new cast member since last year who is on a steeper learning curve, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our finale song in the regular show is "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life."
I love that song so much.
And I do
Sometimes
too.
I turn on the Broadway station on iHeartRadio, hoping to find that one.
And I
think
open
it's Tim
it.
Curry or somebody singing it.
I love Tim Curry.
Yeah.
He was one of my first celebrity crushes.
So you open the song.
I open the song, and every night we do silly costumes. We surprise each other with silly costumes.
Oh, that's okay. There was one time when I asked you about a picture that Victoria Henley had posted, and it showed you in. It was, I don't know, what was it?
It was
Some
like a
kind
clown costume.
No, the one with the bare midriff, and I said I didn't want to give away that that's your finale costume, and you said no, it doesn't matter.
No.
So there's so many costumes at Sweet Fanny that you can just surprise.
It's a smorgasbord of costumes.
What are they going to do with them all when the theater closes?
They're going into storage.
Because they could sell those.
They're going into storage.
Daryl, what's his face?
They're going into storage.
All right. Okay.
But I switched out my wig, and in one moment of silliness, which was one of these pictures.
Lovely.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Right.
I was told that I looked like Imogene Coca, and that made me very happy because
That's a
I love her.
compliment.
Yeah.
Well, Imogene Coca was the role model for Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
So there's I've compared you to Carol Burnett because there's many, as we showed before, when you had that short red Carol Burnett hair, it was even more obvious, but I thought of you that way long before.
Thanks.
Going back to that year where we both looked like children in 2009 and we're on Live at 5 at 4.
I can't handle that picture. I can't.
So I will not show that one.
Please don't. I hate that picture. Was that 2009?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure? Because I don't think I had Lucy yet. And Lucy was born in 2007.
Then it must have been earlier than that.
They wouldn't let me come back.
Then maybe it was 2006.
I've been kicked out of so many groups. What the hell is wrong with me?
Should I tell her?
Please. Somebody should. Somebody should.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm single again, too. Look at that.
Look, you took me back, is all I'll say. Is you kicked me out of the group, and then you took me back. So I am having the opposite experience.
Well, as I'm learning, and as I don't know, it's different. But if you break up with someone, they're gonna listen to you. Just saying.
So Imogene Coca was famous in the generation before Carol Burnett. She was Sid Caesar's. I hesitate to use the word sidekick. Let me say comedic foil, because when the two people liked Sid Caesar and people liked her, but when the two of them got going, it was magic. TV magic.
And it's okay to use sidekick because I think that was the era of, and it's like if you look at how Dolly Parton came up, and at the time she was just the cute, pretty girl.
But you could convincingly argue that if Imogene was Sid's sidekick, Sid was at the same time simultaneously Imogene's sidekick, because that's how it worked. And they knew, it's like Abbott and Costello. Who's the
lead? There's not.
Right. I mean, there's some in some of these classic old comedy troupes. There was comedy groups, duos. There was a straight man and a funny man, and generally speaking,
Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr.
or Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis is the classic example where Dean got tired of Jerry getting all the love. And I read, maybe it was
Stop being boring, Dean.
George Burns and Gracie Allen. George was obviously the straight man.
Yeah.
And that was unusual in that era for him to be cognizant and realize that let the lady be the funny, because that was, normal, that was weird. Usually it was the other way around. I think about Groucho Marx and Margaret Dumont. She's the straight, and he's the crazy. That was the standard, and then it starts to break the mold. Okay. So they used to say, in some article I read, that the straight man got paid more.
It makes sense.
Because nobody wants to be the straight man. You want to be, and did you watch the movie about Laurel and Hardy?
Yeah.
The one that came out like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And Babe, He's just going out and partying and drinking. It doesn't have a care in the world. He doesn't study, but he's so talented, and it drives poor Stan crazy.
Yeah.
That Babe Oliver can show up and learn the choreography and just do it. That Stan has been working on and writing out and detail.
It's kind of like you and I.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's like 60-page email this one sends over here. I'm like, I didn't read it.
And who's the raw talent who just shows up?
I didn't read it.
What's
sorry.
a compliment to your talent?
Well, but it's a compliment to your studies and to your commitment. And
Yeah.
I don't think that it means I'm any less committed. It's just
No, I can't. Seriously, if I sat here and did this same show by myself, it would suck.
Same for me, though.
I can't do it without you.
Same for me. I'd just be like, I wouldn't have anywhere to go. I'd just be whining about something.
Could you explain your shirt? I've seen it on Facebook, but I don't know what it means.
It is my friend Kenneth Brown, who is a musician here in town. And actually today, this very day that we are recording this, he is beginning to...
Which was yesterday.
Yes. He is beginning to record his album. And this has been a promotional item for his album, and it's Love People.
Oh, good. All
Yeah.
right.
And
'Cause
so
I've
it's
seen
two people in the...
I've seen people, you and others, wearing it in a group shot.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's a thing that I somehow have missed.
Yeah, so this is this has been his quarantine mission. Is he just has been writing music and is ready to record. So
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you for explaining that.
You're
I meant to
welcome.
ask you before, but
Thanks
it
for
seems like a
mentioning
good a
it.
time as any.
I was just hot.
I'm gonna have to go change my undershirt. All right, well, let's wrap
Glad
this
you
episode.
said shirt.
Change my.
You went change my undershirt.
Did it sound like I was
Change it. I gotta go change my undershirt. I have a story for you.
bleep myself for tomorrow?
Oh, for tomorrow, buddy.
All right, it is the Krisha and Frank Show. Please do find us on social media and share. But more importantly than that, we're trying to get those YouTube subscriptions up, and you can see I've managed to squeeze out a few more
Yeah.
in the past week.
Again, I have such a topic for tomorrow.
And as we're trying to get to 1,000, and we're not even to 400 yet. So you can help us, please, by subscribing, by liking, commenting on the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And of course, the audio version of it is just about everywhere. And if you want to save money and enjoy Audible.com for 30 days, go to audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank. Use our promo code, and I think that's all the biz, right?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. It was going back to the biz and the.
That's the topic for tomorrow?
No.
Oh.
No, you rattling off all of that while I just sit here quietly, which is unusual.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. We'll just sit here quietly.
My glasses. I'm tired.
All right, well, that's 10 seconds. That's long enough.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I can make it go to 20. 20's the
No,
max.
that's silly. Get out of here.